Coffee in Tow is an interactive world news podcast, a dynamic and engaging live show that streams across multiple internet radio stations worldwide. This podcast brings you real-time news updates, in-depth analysis, and interactive discussions on global events, making you a part of the conversation no matter where you are. With a diverse range of expert guests and listener participation, it's your go-to source for staying informed and connected to the world. Coffee in Tow is brought to you in part by Lormel Skin Food. Log on to lormelskinfood.com. Discover the range of natural skincare solutions. Indulge in the radiance of natural and organic beauty with the best natural and organic soap bars, whipped soaps, body butters, and oils. All 100% natural products. Lormel Skin Food for a natural, beautiful you. The world's best coffee from our farms to your cup. It's Grand Coffee House. Welcome to the YouTube live at minutes to 5. This is not the norm. We had some technical issues this morning. We abandoned ship this morning. However, we are back with you this afternoon, but tomorrow morning we should be back on schedule. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. We'll be back on schedule tomorrow morning. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Hey, Sean, welcome. I know, wrong time, right? Listen, this morning I just threw it up in the air. We were having a lot of internet issues with unstable internet connection, and then also being kicked out of fan base. I think almost everybody who was there got kicked out this morning. And then when I went back, the room was non-existent. So I guess fan base shut it down. I don't know, but I took AT's advice and I went out and I got a Wi-Fi booster and I set it up. So I started playing music around 4:25, there about 4:24, 4:25 this afternoon, just in fan base. And so far we're holding steady, right? So now that we've brought YouTube into the mix, let's see how that plays out. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, all goes well. So thank you for being here, Sean. Thank you. All right, so starting all over from scratch. This morning, we had one article, BarbadosToday.bb. Simmons highlights tech gap holding back developing nations. Barbados is set to challenge potential protectionist measures by larger nations, as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Carrie Simmons warned on Friday that new tariffs could severely harm the country's access to international markets. Simmons told a ministerial conference of the World Trade Organization at the World Economic Forum in the Swiss city of Davos of the need for fairness in global trade to protect small and emerging economies. Newly elected as coordinating chair for the 78-nation African, Caribbean, and Pacific ACP group in the WTO, Simmons touched on the sensitive issue of tariffs, one of the major talking points at Davos. And I remember this morning me saying that, should we be so concerned, about tariffs when we talk about the U.S. and the threat of the well, I don't know if it's a threat or if it's a guarantee, but the cloud that's looming over us as it relates to tariffs and how it will affect us in the long run. And my take was, why are we so focused pretty much on the US? Are we going to be losing so much? Why don't we explore other markets? Isn't this an opportunity to explore other countries to do trade with? But of course, it was brought to my attention that the US is a significant player And not that other markets don't exist, but the US is a significant player. So it is a delicate issue. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I on the right train, so to speak? Quote unquote, Mr. President, play on words. Am I on the right train? Uh, mhm. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much. We're just going to go right along to the next story, which we also discussed this morning. Um, UWI Barbados Prison Service collaborate on agriculture project. Article found in Barbados Today.bb. The University of the West Indies, UWI Cave Hill campus, has launched a transformative initiative to integrate sustainable food production into the Barbados Prison Services operations. This innovative 6-week agricultural training program, a collaboration between the campus's Center for Agricultural Research and Innovation and the Barbados Prison System, is designed to significantly reduce the institution's food bill, align with national food security goals, and provide meaningful rehabilitation opportunities for inmates. The initiative introduces prison officers and inmates to advanced agricultural practices, blending theoretical knowledge with hands on training. The program's curriculum covers critical areas such as soil preparation and testing, seedling and crop propagation, pest management, poultry housing design and maintenance, feeding systems management, and biosecurity measures. Participants will also learn about irrigation system installation and management, as well as the cultivation of root and tuber crops, herbs, and vegetables, with an emphasis on high demand commodities like sweet potatoes, cassava, and yams. The collaboration between Calgary and the Barbados Prison Service highlights the alignment of expertise and shared vision for sustainable development. By leveraging UWI's technical knowledge and innovative strategies, the program ensures adherence to international best practices while addressing the unique needs of the prison system. I liked this story. I wish Adesoji was here, but I know he's probably sleeping now because he's in the UK. But I liked this one, and I know Adesoji had concerns, right? But why do I like this one? Because you are truly rehabilitating prisoners who are at some point going to be reintroduced to society, right? You are arming them with skills, knowledge, the know-how so that they can fend for themselves, right? Be able to take care of themselves and their families, because I'm sure some of them have families, and they can become productive citizens. Going to jail is not the end of your life, right? It is not. And there is hope and there is opportunity. I also like the fact that it will cut down on the tax bill that is passed off to citizens, right? Because I'm sure the prisons are maintained by tax dollars. So if they can ease the burden through food, I think that will help significantly, in my humble opinion. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that one, Mr. President? Again, back over to you if you're able to speak. I know you're out there in these streets. You in these streets? Word on the street. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Right. I think so too. I think so too. I don't think we have anything to lose. And yes, I remember his concern with foreign quote unquote investors. But I'm looking at it that I remember mentioning Mia Motley and that she's pretty much a no nonsense person, right? And I want to believe that she is going to make the right decisions, decisions that are beneficial to her people, her country. She's going to put Barbados first. And in light of that, I do believe that if outside investors come into the conversation, we will have to trust the leaders there in Barbados to make the right decisions. Whatever decision is made, the contract has to be beneficial to Barbados. How will the prison system benefit? Will it further ease the burden on taxpayers? So I don't think it's a conversation that should be tossed out. It is worth exploring in all facets, go down all the different avenues and see what we can come up with. Whatever it is, we just want to know that we're going to be doing right by Barbados, right by the prison system, but more importantly, right by those who are incarcerated and stand to get back out there in society. All right. Okay, next up we have this one, Dominica, you're on the board. Let me pin this here. So Dominican rather has been awarded a full scholarship to pursue a PhD in dementia. Wow. All right, let's get into this one. Article courtesy of Caribbean.loopnews.com. Rihanna Patterson, founder of the Dominica Dementia Foundation, has received a full scholarship from the UK Research Institute to pursue a PhD in dementia at the University of Nottingham's School of Medicine. Patterson's doctoral research will focus on exploring technology's potential in dementia care for marginalized communities, with a specific emphasis on Caribbean populations in London. A graduate of University College London with a master's degree in dementia, Patterson recently contributed as a principal author to the Dementia in the Commonwealth report by the Commonwealth Association for the Aging. Patterson's academic backgrounds include an associate's degree in psychology from Dominica State College, a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Kent, and a master's degree in dementia from UCL. The University of Nottingham, ranked in the top 20 UK universities and eighth for research power, provides a prestigious platform for Patterson's research through its Institute of Mental Health. You're hearing more and more about dementia. I think you're hearing more about dementia than you're hearing about Alzheimer's. What is the difference? But first, let us look at the definition of dementia. So, according to Google, dementia is a general term that refers to a group of brain disorders that cause a gradual decline in cognitive function, memory, thinking, reasoning, and behavior. This decline interferes with a person's daily life and activities. I think they should have been more specific with memory, because I'm not sure if any of you have interacted with someone who has had dementia or who has dementia. And what I've noticed with dementia patients, and I'm speaking from personal experience, my father's mother, a sister of his, another sister who currently has it, a brother who has it right now. As a matter of fact, he had, yeah, quite a few of his siblings had it before they passed on. But right now, living, he has a brother and two sisters that are dealing with dementia. And my father had it before he passed on. The memory, it's from way back in the day. What them saying now makes sense to us because we are not aware of these things. But if you talk to somebody like another family member who was growing up with them, they will tell you, oh, yeah, 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 I know exactly what they're talking about. So is it that the long-term memory kicks in, but short-term memory disappears? Could that be the memory issue? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they did a study where memory is concerned to do a deep dive, but I have noticed that. That has been my observation with those I've come in contact with. Um, what are three things they're saying? Oh, listen to this. What are three things to not to say to someone with dementia? Hmm. Or eight things to avoid. One, don't try to jog the person's memory by saying, remember when. Huh. They're saying instead of posing a question, try leading with remember when. That way, the person can search their memory calmly without feeling embarrassed and then join in if they like. Number two, you don't have to correct every mistaken belief. For example, if they feel someone is stealing from them, you don't have to say nobody's stealing from you. Okay. As dementia progresses, the person will find it hard to accept logic. And so it may not be possible to convince them that their belief is incorrect. And this can lead to confusion, bad feelings, or arguments. Instead, they're saying, think think about whether it is necessary to correct the belief at all. Gently encourage the person to shift their focus onto something they enjoy, even something as simple as a subject they like to talk about. Okay. Um, Consider whether to remind the person of a death or a tragedy that happened. Try, if you are interacting with someone who has dementia, try not to let your emotions take over by saying things like, I've just told you that, or you just said that. Yeah, this is where a lot of patience comes into play, and also learning to ignore. That's a big thing when you're interacting with a dementia person. You're going to have to learn to ignore, especially you hear them say it 3 times. No set a come 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Just ignore. Remain calm and be patient. And another thing you want to do is maintain an even tone of voice. All right. Definitely maintain an even tone of voice. Open questions can be hard, asking them things like, what did you do this morning? Avoid asking a dementia patient too many open-ended questions about the past, because what we could be doing is putting them in a stressful situation, right? Yeah, instead of making them speak about their day, the recommendation is you speak about your day and give them the chance to ask you questions if they're so inclined. All right. Um, you may ask them, some people say, oh, do you recognize me? Do you know who I am? What that does, according to this article, is that you're making them feel guilty or anxious if they don't remember, or, you might make them feel offended. Yeah, so we want to not do that. They're saying instead, the way you greet someone with dementia might change depending on the stage of their condition. Judge for yourself, but try to keep it friendly. A warm hello could suffice, or it may help to say your name and your relationship to them each time. Another one, too much information. Don't do information overload with them. That can be frustrating for them. Try to avoid long, complex sentences. Instead, use short, simple sentences as much as possible. Avoid speaking too much in loud or busy environments, and wait until you have the person's full attention before you start, right? During a conversation, give the person enough time to process what you're saying. Again, a lot of patience is needed. And number 8, try not to talk down to the person. Okay. Always remember that the person has dementia. Keep that at the forefront. And it is fine if the person needs you to speak slower than usual, but try to keep your tone of voice the same as with anyone else. Some people may like being called love or dear, but unless you know the person, it is usually best to use their name instead, and this helps keep their dignity intact. All right. Anything, any takeaways? Anybody want to add anything to this one about dementia? So, congratulations to the young lady from Dominica on being awarded the scholarship to study dementia at the University of Nottingham's School of Medicine. Um, yeah. Hey, Joe. Welcome to the afternoon drive, I should say. Well, you shouldn't be driving anywhere. I think you're still stuck in the office. Hope your day's going well. All right, next up, we head on over to Jamaica. Jamaica and the Philippines forge health work partnership, and I'll go ahead and pin this one on the hold on, pin, paste. Okay, here we go. I pinned that one on YouTube. All right, so the next article is courtesy of CaribbeanNationalWeekly.com. Jamaica and the Philippines have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at strengthening collaboration to address human resource challenges in healthcare. The agreement was formalized on Thursday, January 23, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston by Jamaica's Health and Wellness Minister, Dr. the Honorable Christopher Tufton, and the Philippines Secretary of Public Health, Dr. Teodoro Herbosa. The MOU outlines initiatives such as faculty and trainer exchanges, training and certification of healthcare professionals, and capacity building in biotechnology, medical equipment, epidemiology, and healthcare management. It also includes exchange visits for specialist nurses and other healthcare workers. Dr. Tufton emphasized that the partnership will foster a stronger and more resilient health workforce by leveraging shared expertise and resources. By pooling our expertise and resources, we can offer better training and ensure an equitable distribution of healthcare professionals. One key feature of the agreement is a specialized nurse training program where Jamaican personnel will travel to the Philippines for hands-on experience in hospital settings. Dr. Tufton noted that the Philippines is globally recognized for its advanced training infrastructure and its capacity to produce skilled healthcare professionals. I know I have heard that, well, let me get it right. Let me say it right. On TikTok, I have learned so much about the nurses from the Philippines or Filipino nurses or persons who are in the healthcare sector, not just nurses. And when I say nurses, I know people tend to think female, right? No, both male and female nurses. They seem to be loved. People seem to love their outgoing personalities. I've heard where a lot of healthcare professionals say that they have benefited from having them on their team. Has anyone ever interacted with a Filipino healthcare worker to say yes or no? Have you had any feedback as it relates to their professionals? One thing I do hope is that don't come from a Jamaica, don't come from a, but sometimes we just have to speak the truth. It is my hope that as you send some of your nurses to the Philippines to get hands-on experience in hospital settings, I hope that there is a course or training as it relates to interpersonal communication skills, aka customer service, that we will not only come back with technical know-how, but how to actually take care of our patients. Yeah. For far too long, we've got the complaints, we've heard the complaints, the gripes and the grouses that our healthcare providers, in particular the nurses that are in the public sector, yeah, need work. Let me just leave it at that. So, all right, Mr. Tufton, go on do your thing. Go on do your thing. Next up, we're still in Jamaica. We're still in Jamaica. Jamaican government to sell stake in highway operator Trans Jamaican. This article courtesy of JamaicaGleaner.com. The government of Jamaica will be offloading its $10 billion stake in Trans Jamaican Highway Limited, operator of the Highway 2000 East-West toll roads, and divesting outsourcing assets held by the Port Authority of Jamaica later this year. The divestments will be done through the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said at the opening of the 20th JSE Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference on Tuesday night. The government will also consider a reduction in the rate of tax on dividends from the current rate of 15%. The government will soon be divesting its 20% holding in Trans Jamaican Highway Limited, held through National Road Operating and Construction Company Limited. This will be undertaken by a public offer for sale. That's something that the capital markets can look forward to, Mr. Holness said. The highways, or I should say Dr. Holness said, the highway stock, which was first listed in March 2020, the month that the COVID-19 pandemic emerged in Jamaica, has since tripled in value and is now trading in the $4 range. The toll road operator, as of Wednesday, was valued at nearly $53 billion in market capitalization at $4.22 per share. So, opportunity line, there are Jamaicans. You can now own a piece of Jamaica, the road. Step up quickly, get the information as soon as it's made available. Start making your calls. I know there are representatives within the commercial banks, within private financial institutions. Seek their guidance and put your pennies together. Put your money together. Own a stake, own something, right? I would love to know that the 20% that the government is offloading will be taken up by Jamaicans. I'm not sure if Jamaicans in the diaspora will be able to take advantage. I don't see why not, but I would love to see this 20% owned by Jamaicans and not so much foreign investment. Sorry to have to sound this way, right? And the reason I'm hoping we will take advantage of this opportunity, it's because we have concerns when we talk about the Jamaica Public Service, our only source of electricity in Jamaica. And we had a lot of concerns. Let me put it this way. We had a lot of concerns when Hurricane Beryl happened. Yeah. All right. So, all right, Jamaica, run with that. Hope you all can find it beneficial. Again, put your coins together. Put your coins together. All right, next up, we are heading over to St. Kitts and Nevis. Oh, look at this picture. Sorry, you can't see the picture, folks. Sorry. All right, according to CaribbeanNationalWeekly.com, the St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, met with His Majesty King Charles III on Friday, January 24, at Sandringham Estate in Norfolk, the private country retreat to the King and Queen Camilla. The bilateral meeting focused on key issues of mutual interest, including sustainability, environmental stewardship, youth advocacy, and education. In a statement shared on social media, Prime Minister Drew highlighted the productive nature of the discussion. His Majesty's passion for advancing all of the discussed issues is evident. Pledged to continue working together for a better and more sustainable world. I wish him and his family well, he wrote. The meeting marked a significant milestone as it was the first time during King Charles III's reign that he hosted a foreign official. Oh, look at that, at Sandringham House, rather than the traditional venues of Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle. Prime Minister Drew expressed enthusiasm for enhancing the partnership between St. Kitts and Nevis and the United Kingdom, emphasizing the importance of collective action on international challenges. The visit coincided with Prime Minister Drew's attendance at a high-profile dialogue in London from January 20 to 22 on the future of citizenship by investment programs. During the event, leaders from the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, discussed the integrity, sustainability, and strategic vision of CBI initiatives across the region. And in case you don't know, there have been long-standing diplomatic ties between St. Kitts and Nevis as they share a very robust diplomatic relationship. Okay, forgive me for being a little skeptical of things. Yeah, let me just say that and leave it right there. Forgive me for being skeptical. At the same hold on a second before I run off my mouth, let me look up something. And I think I know the answer. Okay, I think I know the answer, but let me double check and make sure. Yes, St. Kitts and Nevis is a member of the Commonwealth. It's a sovereign state rather, in the British Commonwealth, a constitutional monarchy, and a federal parliamentary democracy. Okay, so the meaning they have a governor general, quite like Jamaica. Right? The governor general represents the monarch and runs the country with the prime minister. The prime minister is the leader of the majority party of the National Assembly. All right. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court guides the judiciary. St. Kitts and Nevis gained independence from the United Kingdom in 1983, which was just the other day. It's also a member of the United Nations, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other organizations. So yes, question answer. Hence, I can understand why there would be conversations between the Prime Minister and King Charles III. How then can a country like St. Kitts, and I'm not sure if it is a conversation they have thought about having, how then would St. Kitts and Nevis part ways and become a republic? Would it be beneficial for them to become a republic, or is it more beneficial for them to remain a part of the Commonwealth? All right. I like the conversations that were had. Yes, as they surround important matters, right? You're talking about sustainability, youth advocacy, and education. I'm not sure what the details of those conversations are. We're not privy to it yet, but I'm sure in the coming days, weeks, or months, the information will come to the forefront. Is this continued relationship and interest a possible form of reparation in some way, shape, or form? I don't know, because we're not getting an apology from the monarchy, but at least they are concerned about our well-being here in the Caribbean. You see, I have to be as diplomatic as possible and be very careful. Yeah. All right. Moving right along. Sandals. We're now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. According to St. Vincent Times, Sandals ignites over 100,000 visitors for St. Vincent, and that happened in 2024. Okay, go with your bad self. Sandals. By the way, Adam, on a sort out the problem over there in Antigua and Barbuda and Mr. Brown yet. On a second the tax bill, me just want to make sure on a settle that, you know. Me no want Mr. Brown come back in the papers and tarnish no good up reputation. All right. So, according to StVincentTimes.com, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has smashed its tourism records with a 25% increase in visitor arrivals in 2024. Round of applause. For the first time in the country's history, stayover arrivals surpassed 100,000, reaching an impressive 101,471 visitors by December 2024. This surge marks a transformative economic boom for the multi-island state, driving job creation and boosting airlift capacity. The 2024 debut of Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines is widely seen as the catalyst for this growth, significantly raising the country's profile on the global travel stage. And that is the Caribbean Journal. All right. I'm liking it. It's being described as a sandals effect, a phenomenon observed in the Caribbean destinations where Sandals Resorts has established a presence. The term refers to the positive ripple effects and the resort brand that it brings to, hold on, let me reread this one because I think this is constructed incorrectly. Anyway, the term refers to the positive ripple effects that the resort brand brings to a destination, including increased tourism and employment boom, community development, and additional airlift. A strategic partnership between Sandals and JetBlue Airways led to the launch of a major New York stand-up St. Vincent route, directly supporting the resort's operations and providing a clear example of the Sandals effect in action. Beyond the resort, the benefits extend to local businesses such as tour operators, taxi drivers, restaurants, farmers, fishers, and entrepreneurs, all of whom experience a significant boost. This tourism boost is now being hailed as one of the Caribbean's most remarkable success stories of 2024. Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been the subject on multiple tourism success stories. One of the most recent examples being its #1 ranking in the Best All-Inclusive Caribbean Resort category of USA Today's 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards for 2025. Well, round of applause. Whoops. Round of applause. I have to lift my hat and say congratulations to Sandals for doing a phenomenal job. But what I'm liking is that it's not just Sandals who is benefiting. Local businesses, tour operators, taxi drivers, restaurants, farmers, fishers, entrepreneurs. I don't know. I hope it's not a trickle down, right? Where it's just drip, drip, drip. But I'm thinking not, because the article says they all experienced a significant boost in their revenue. So it's a good look. What's the plan for 2025? Sandals and St. Vincent, are you hoping to increase that by what, 50%, 100%, double up? I hope so. I sincerely hope y'all can do that. Good job striking a partnership with JetBlue. I'm sure, if I'm thinking, trying to get into their headspace of Adam and his team, I'm thinking they're going to strike up more partnerships, right? Can't hit Sandals, can't hit them. We're not doing a thing. We're not lead the way. Luxury brand, Jamaican owned. I'm proud of you. Caribbean owned, proud on. You know, what else can I say? Any thoughts on this one before we move on? Moving right along. All right. Trinidad and Tobago, warning for you. According to Caribbean National Weekly. Hold on. I'm trying to not feel grossed out with this story. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying hard, you know. Okay. According to Caribbean National Weekly.com, health authorities in Trinidad and Tobago are advising the public to avoid consuming the giant African snails, not the little escargot, not those, the giant ones, following reports that the snails are being eaten as a delicacy. The Ministry of Health issued a warning highlighting that the giant African snail is a known carrier of the rat lungworm parasite, which can cause meningitis, which is an inflammation of the protective membranes around the brain and spinal cord. Hold on 1 second. Let me get rid of this thing here. Not interested in this story. Thank you very much. It warned that human beings may become infected by ingesting raw or inadequately cooked snails, adding that infections in children tend to be of greater severity and are often fatal. The ministry said that the snails can also be reservoirs for bacteria such as salmonella, which can be the cause of food poisoning, and that improper handling or inadequate cooking can lead to bacterial contamination. All right. Anyone here ever tried an African snail? No. Escargot, the small one. Yes. I know you if you eat conch, you'll eat snail. Some people will say. Conch is good. Is there a difference? I'm trying to think. So, President, you just chop up some conch the other day. You butcher up some conch the other day. You cook up some conch the other day. Have you had the opportunity to have escargot? Not the giant African snail, though, but escargot, the baby ones. AT, put it in the chat. Tasha, put it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. Yeah, the giant snails, they're like the size of Yorkies. I'm looking at images here, and they look like the size of a Yorkie. Those small dogs. It's all right. I'll take a pass on that. I'll take a pass. So, my folks over there in Trinidad and Tobago, please be on the lookout. Be very careful. Heed the warning. All right. It's all right. But not even I look on that. Okay, here's another article. I don't think I covered this one. This one is out of Jamaica as well. According to Nationwide Radio JM, Finance Minister Favour Williams is urging the country's commercial banks to lower their lending interest rates in line with the Bank of Jamaica, according to BOJ's recent reductions. She says the compliance would represent a significant step in the thrust towards economic development. Let's take a listen to Sister Favour. All right. The minister's call follows complaints from the Medium, Small and Micro Enterprises, the MSME Alliance, that the persistent delays of banks to adjust their lending rates are placing unnecessary financial strain on its members. The MSME argues that when the BOJ increases policy rates to combat inflation, banks swiftly adjusted their borrowing rates within a 6-month period. But it says despite the recent policy rate reduction, banks remain hesitant to follow similar protocols. The MSME also criticized the BOJ after the central bank explained it's unable to force institutions to comply with the reduction rate. Minister Williams says she's committed to providing the necessary support to small businesses. Power of persuasion. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can understand this properly. The finance minister, is she, or is the Ministry of Finance the governing body over the Bank of Jamaica? Is the Bank of Jamaica the governing body over all the financial institutions in Jamaica? All right, let me jump over to Google here. Shouldn't commercial banks or all financial institutions heed the directive or directives of the Bank of Jamaica, or no, you're still free to operate independently, make your own decisions, and just make as much money as you can? The interest of your stakeholders comes before those of your you know, those who bank with you, your customers, your clients. I would think that you can strike a balance, because no matter goes fully, the banks do make a ton of money. A lot of money is made off of your deposits, whether it's your fixed deposit, your savings, nobody talk about savings account. Commercial people, whatever the instrument is, banks do make money off of it. How? Because they lend the money out. They will invest in different vehicles, not the car where you drive, but different investment vehicles. And they do get a return on that investment. And then you get a little pinch, like a tops off of what they make. And that is why they don't like when they come and make big withdrawals, you know? Them not like it. Yeah, it kind of rub them the wrong way. Them like to have your money so them can use your money. But anyway, back to this. I would think that all financial institutions would be concerned with economic growth and development, which can only be, in some cases, attained through loans. You'd want to make the loans favorable for your citizens, no, at least your customers, no? When you is relationship banking still a thing in Jamaica? Is that still a thing? I think interest rates should be capped. I don't think they should go past a certain amount. I think all financial institutions should toe the line, whatever the line is, and I think that line should be established by the Bank of Jamaica. We cannot oppress our own people financially and expect them to do well. Because remember, we are competing with foreign investors who come with money secured from loans at very low interest rates. We can't compete with that. So we have to do something for our people. Right? So imagine a foreign investor come there with a 1%, 2% loan, interest loan, plus him get significant tax breaks from the government of Jamaica. What we're doing is we're giving them a head start. What we say when you run a race and the person at the front of the line run gone left you? Donkey lens. We are giving them the advantage. It is time for us to make it favorable for our entrepreneurs, our business operators, those who are desirous of setting up some type of business in the island. Remember, we need to have people gainfully employed. Just this weekend, very sad story. I saw it all over social media with the retired nurse from New York, 72 years old, murdered. It is alleged, not sure how true it is, but it is alleged that she withdrew some money to pay for some work being done. Not sure if it's her house or if it's her daughter's house or some relative's house. And it was quite the sum, from my understanding. She lives in a gated community, or lived, because she's now deceased, lived in a gated community. So you have to get access to her. Allegedly, material was being dropped off. Somewhere along the line, I don't know what the heck happened, but it is said that 2 people went to do the delivery, but only one ended up leaving her place. I don't know how true it is. I need to do a little more dumpster diving, but we have to do better. What we have, and no matter goes fully, most of these crimes that are being committed, these heinous acts, are being committed by young people who, I don't know what it is. Is it that they don't believe in the one cocoa full basket? Is it that they don't believe in staple crooked and cut straight? Is it that they don't believe in putting in the work and having acquisitions over time? Everybody seems to have this get rich quick mentality. So she has 2 vehicles, and allegedly they stole both her vehicles. One is a BMW. I don't remember what the other one is. But what happened, apparently, her daughter, that time they don't kill a woman already, and then thief the woman car. The daughter must have a tracker system set up and noticed that the vehicle had left the premises and sent a text. And the thief them see the text, and that's how them abandon the vehicle. I'm trying to see if I can find the whole thing, but we have a problem. We have a problem. We have a serious problem in Jamaica with our young people. And it's not the entire country, and it's not all our young people. It's some. We have had several conversations on Coffee and Toe with regard to cost of living. We've had several conversations surrounding, what do you call it? Livable wages. We've had several conversations about lack of opportunity. But we've also had countering conversations. Articles have come forth in the newspaper, the various media outlets, that job opportunities are there, but will lack personnel with the proper skills and training. And what is the counter we have had to that? The Heart Institute, that it is available. It is affordable. Because if I'm not, let me jump back on Google before I run off my mouth and tell lie. Oh boy. We have spoken about the Heart Trust NTA. We have spoken about it several times. You can sign up there. Go learn a trade. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. It's not no if and or but. They're there. From my understanding, it's free. Go learn a trade. Please. Me I beg you no. The body, what you call it? Ready eye, bad mind. But a bad mind people for them things and a ready eye people for them things. How? So let me ask a question. You thief the BMW and then you show up at your yard, knowing say you have a job as a delivery driver. And you know say the delivery driver pay what you get cannot afford the BMW. How do you explain it to your family members and friends where you get the BMW from? All right. You're driving down the road. Police pull you over. License and registration and insurance, please. and you reach now the glove compartment. How you explain for you come for you drive the woman vehicle? Hmm? Everybody want to live big life. Everybody want the brand name lifestyle. I'm not selling the souls for it. We have to do better. This is not something you can say, Prime Minister, you have to fix this. What about turning the lens on yourself? What are you going to do to fix it on an individual basis? All time people say stay on crooked and cut straight. You work with what you have. Sometimes you see a man out there with something you don't know what ain't do. Forget it. 72 years old, retired nurse from New York. Can you imagine how hard she did have to work to be able to go home and retire and just have it taken away like that? Her life taken away. Honestly, people doing things. Go work, save, invest, do something. Yes, we sit down and we say, no job, not that a job dead there. Jobs are there. Nobody no work their way up again. Nobody no grind it out again. heart-nsta.org. heart-nsta.org. Sign up to get some skills training. Sign up if you already have skills training and see how you can, they can help you to find a job. Get some certification. Go on their website. You can use your phone and do what you need to do. Stop killing off people for what they work hard for. All right, this next article. Thank you for sending this one over, Mr. President. Let's lighten up the situation a little bit. It's time for us to go down in the islands, our features, travel and lifestyle segment. Quintessential resilience, the breadfruit in the Caribbean. Let's go ahead and jump on. Did I pin the link? Let me pin the link here on YouTube. And yes, we are live on YouTube as we are recording to upload later on. For folks who are not able to catch it now, they can watch it later. And remember the YouTube podcast. Don't forget the YouTube podcast is there as well. All right. So this article, courtesy of daily.jstore.org. This is a moment when people have to face the climate crisis, one of the signs of a developing loss of balance in our planet's support systems for life. This past year's violent storms, severe droughts, and catastrophic rainfall tell us climate change isn't in the future, it's here. The Caribbean endured severe storms in the 2024 hurricane season, including Hurricane Beryl, which occurred far too early because the oceans were overheated by June. Humans have largely lost their ancestral memory of the vital interconnectedness of all life on Earth. Now, we have to learn as fast as we can how to manage threats resulting from our consumption of Earth's resources. That some plants, such as the breadfruit, appear to be managing climate change better than expected shouldn't make us less urgent about changing our ways. Breadfruit's resilience and adaptability should be particularly instructive and inspiring to us in this moment. So a little bit more about the breadfruit tree. The breadfruit tree has coexisted with humans in the Pacific region for more than 3,000 years. Breadfruit is nutritious, possessing proteins, vitamins, and essential amino acids, and its fruiting season provided reliable food security. Pacific Island peoples modified the breadfruit as they cultivated and eventually embraced it as a key part of their cultures. As a starchy vegetable, it lends itself to boiling, mashing, and roasting, even turning into flour. Early colonial observers even witnessed roasted breadfruit left as an offering to accompany the dead across the threshold at the end of life. As the author writes in A Good Thing Spring Up, the breadfruit story in the Caribbean, published in Onda Stories, Plants and Culture in the American Tropics, the breadfruit's history in the Caribbean takes it over several centuries, from being disliked to being embraced. Its journey across the ocean began with the British government's colonial response to Caribbean planter complaints, and this is back in the late 18th century. The American Revolution of 1776 eventually disrupted trade routes. So, island planters looked for alternative sources of cheap food for enslaved workers. The British moved a great many plants across the world to their colonies, in addition to establishing a research center in London where highly trained botanists grew plants brought from the British Empire. This work was inspired by the architect of imperial plant projects, Joseph Banks, 1743 to 1820, who accompanied Captain James Cook to the Pacific, where he became aware of the breadfruit. Banks and others reported that breadfruit required no work to grow or produce, and that is true. If you go to the Caribbean islands in particular, for example, Jamaica, where breadfruit is part of our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you will see the trees all over the island growing wildly. They require nothing, absolutely nothing, no nurturing. So the British came up with the idea of shipping breadfruit shoots from the Pacific to the Caribbean. So yes, oh, let me say this, my Jamaican people, I know Jamaica breadfruit originates. I know we like to claim everything as our own, but I'm sorry, I have to tell another truth. Have to tell or no the truth. Imperial botanical gardens at Kew and across the empire were led by colonial botanists, but it was enslaved laborers who were charged with the painstaking work of cultivating and protecting the plants. Yet, because breadfruit didn't have historic cultural associations for enslaved people of African descent on Caribbean plantations, and because they knew it was being offered as food by slave owners who had no interest in their welfare, they rejected it. Still, the tree took root, literally and figuratively, in this new tropical region, despite the different soils, rainfall patterns, and water resources. Caribbean islands are both volcanic with rich soil, for example, Dominica and St. Vincent, and coral with poor soil. Can't forget that. Poor soil is Antigua and Barbados. Sorry, Antigua and Barbados. The breadfruit tree proved its adaptability, thriving on both. Its fruit-bearing process seemed to respond to local conditions. Even now, there is a shorter development cycle in Martinique than in Barbados. This all points to a remarkable adaptability in the plant, which makes botanists and scientists hopeful it will be better able to cope with climate change than many other trees, once more providing food for humans facing daunting conditions. So, I learned something about the breadfruit today. Yes, the Pacific. I don't know why I thought it was from India. I don't know, but that was my first impression. And shame on me for not having done research. Breadfruit, I love breadfruit. I like it roasted. I like it roasted and then fried over. Um, in soup, when we cook our chicken soup and I saturate it, so I like it in soup. How else? What other way? We don't have breadfruit tree over there in Grenada, Mr. President. what you learned about breadfruit when you made your way to Jamaica? Eh? Oh, so no man. So all right, I'm gonna. So I'm gonna step away for a quick second because I have to attend to something real quick. But I needed to tell the people about oil dung. Me soon come back. Hang tight. Go on talk there for me, Mr. President. Mm-hmm. So that sound like uh-huh. Uh-huh. The round one or the spinners? Which one? Round one or spinners? Spinners, yes, yes. And they're small. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Let me go. I'm going on. I'm going. Come on, see what the dumpling in the oil don't look like. But that to me, okay, so let me ask you, hold on a second now. What you call oil dung, could that be what? And Tasha can tell me. Rundown. Okay, that's what I was thinking, Tasha. Rundown. So rundown for us, we can use fish, but it's usually salted mackerel, right? What we call salt mackerel. Where we cook up the what you call it, the coconut milk, you know, you grate your coconut and you make a coconut milk and you make that cook down with your seasonings like your scallion, thyme, scotch bonnet pepper, pimento. Um whatever, no, I don't put turmeric in mine. I keep it the coconut milk, hold on, scotch bonnet, scallion, thyme, onion. I try to remember the Tasha said we used to Zumba too. Tasha, one time ever have that something like one time in my life. I always used to hear about Susumba, Susumba, Susumba. I had it once, never again. Yeah. That sounds similar. And I know, I think it's mhm. It must be the turmeric. Must be the turmeric. All right. So, hold on. I'm looking at a picture. So okay, the shape of your dumpling is just the same shape like when we do festival. You have had the Jamaican festival, the cornmeal and flour with some sugar and it's fried, and them usually serve that with fish, like fried fish. Sometimes you can get it with jerked, whether it's pork, chicken, ribs, jerk meat, but usually festival and fish. So your oil dung, the dumpling in your oil dung have the same shape like and size like our festival. Okay. I'm gonna try and make it one. Yeah. Okay. Father, forgive me for I have sinned in thought, word, and deed. Okay. Pray for me. Just pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. I'm trying. I'm trying. Oh Lord, I really try. Okay. I'm gonna try the oil dung one day. But yeah, breadfruit is really well, for me, it's tasty. And yes, I'm glad you sent this article over, Mr. President, because we have to look at alternatives, right? A lot of people, especially in the States, don't know how to take them hand-on fashion. There are many of us who migrated to the US and have become so quote unquote Americanized that it's like we throw a stone behind we. Porridge. Breadfruit chips, I know, but I'm porridge. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. 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 I agree. Was it a couple weeks ago we were talking about the ackee tree in Africa and that they weren't eating it. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. No, you have to be careful with it. You have to wait for the pod to open up before, and a lot of people don't know this, but I'm hoping. No, man, but Aki, you have to wait until the pod opens up. Also, when you're cleaning it, when you take out the seed that is in the fruit, there is also a red lining that you have to clean that out as well. So Tasha is making me learn something new in the chat. The breadfruit leaves are good for high blood pressure and even asthma. Me never know that. And the first me I hear that one day. Me learn something new today. Breadfruit leaf, is it the young one or the mature leaf, Tasha? Let me know in the chat. RoSolo, thank you for being here. Sorry to hear you are under the weather. Really sorry to hear. Please feel better. You have a bottle of white rum there. You know the thing go. Rum, fix everything. leaves. True. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, me never know. Never know. Tasha, thank you for teaching me something here. The breadfruit leaves. So, folks listening, the breadfruit tree where you're having in your yard, asthma, they have high blood pressure. Yes, I'm speaking Jamaican. And anybody you know have like a high blood pressure, go broke off one leaf and I boil it and drink it. Good for high blood pressure. Asthma, yes, any little pitney will have asthma. Boil little tea, give it to them, make them drink it. Yes, that is important. That is important. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, Tasha, you have sent me to Google. The leaves may contain many nutrients, or I should say, contain many nutrients and secondary metabolites, including flavonoids, terpenoids, and phenols that may have health benefits. So, potential health benefits of the breadfruit leaves: anti-inflammatory. So I guess I see that's where the asthma would come in, because asthma is when your bronchial system, you have inflammation, right? So anti-inflammatory, breadfruit leaves may help with inflammation of the liver, kidneys, and spleen. Blood pressure, breadfruit leaves may help to lower blood pressure. Diabetes may help to control diabetes. Skin conditions, crushed breadfruit leaves may help with skin ailments, thrush, boils, and burns. How will you say? Ear infections. Breadfruit leaf juice or sap may help with ear infections. May also help with sore eyes. Asthma may help to relieve asthma. And then they're also saying here it may help with coronary heart disease. Other uses: breadfruit leaves can be steeped in water for cosmetic use. Breadfruit leaves can be used in folk medicine to treat a variety of ailments. Precautions: most of the claimed uses of breadfruit leaves have not been scientifically verified. But here's what you do: you find that person in your island, in your family who know about them things here. Because we do have our herbalists. Yes, we do. And a lot of times before we had what you call, quote unquote, traditional medicine, pharmaceutical medication, it was natural things that were used to cure us. All right. So interesting indeed. I'm not sure if the leaves are edible. I'm looking here to see if the leaves are edible. Not sure. I know they said the seeds and fruit of the breadfruit are eaten. The roots, leaves, and latex are used to make medicine. So the roots, Tasha, me never know that either. Me never know you can use the breadfruit tree root, yeah, to make medicine. The latex. We are learned today. We are learned today, folks. We never know neither. Arthritis, asthma, back pain, wound healing, ear infections, and other conditions. but they're also saying who should not eat breadfruit. Breadfruit might cause allergic reactions in people sensitive to bananas or Benjamin fig. Hypertension. Breadfruit might lower blood pressure. This might cause blood pressure to drop too low in people who already have low blood pressure. So yes, do your research. I'm glad you said that, Mr. President. It is very important that you do research. Don't just get up and read it. Another thing here, and I'm just going further and further, deeper and deeper into this breadfruit thing. We have a cup of breadfruit tray we had, yeah. This tea can be consumed daily, especially for those looking to manage high blood pressure or improve overall health. Breadfruit leaves can be used topically to treat conditions, skin conditions. All right. So I know next time I land at Jamaica, I need to get some breadfruit leaf and carry them back with me. All right, folks, learn something new. Thank you once again, Mr. President, for this one. Time for us to go down in our coffee pot for our entertainment news. Vibes Cartel donates $1 million to Waterford Primary School. Let me get into this one. According to Caribbean National Weekly.com, dancehall icon DJ Vibes Cartel Palmer has donated, has donated $1 million to Waterford Primary School to support critical educational programs and initiatives. The entertainer grew up in the Waterford community and attended the institution before matriculating to Calabar High School. Administrators at the institution welcomed the donation, which they said would significantly benefit students. Although Palmer did not attend the school personally, but didn't it just say here, the entertainer grew up in the Waterford community and attended the institution before matriculating to Calabar High School, but down there them saying did not attend the school personally? Okay, all right. Whatever. Although Palmer did not attend the school personally, a representative delivered the funds on his behalf. According to school officials, the donation... Oh! Una color me slow. Una color me so. Another time of day with the coffee into a morning time. And no coffee on the my table. I'm having a cup of moringa tea. So Miss Slow, he did not go to the school to make the donation personally. He sent somebody. Because I was like, hold on. When I say he did not attend the school personally. But I think we should reconstruct this because it can be a little, or is me alone? I have a couple screws missing. Am me alone slow? Probably me alone slow. Is that right? Okay, so although Mr. Palmer was not present to make the delivery, he had a representative do so on his behalf. According to school officials, the donation will be allocated to bolstering the performing arts program, purchasing computers, and organizing a treat for the children in the coming week. This donation will make a significant difference. Yep, so big up yourself, Mr. Palmer. Big up yourself. Who remember this song? RoSolo, every time I remember this song, I remember where we were. I think the first time I heard this song, and I know you're not feeling so if I'm gonna come off the mic and talk, just put your answer in the chat. First Fridays that used to happen in Pembroke Pines at what do I tell the name again? The Palms? Yes, right off of the 75. That's so. It was me, you. How many of us ago? It was me, you, Mr. Marlon, Mr. Mandir, another cousin of us, another friend of us. About 6 or 7 of us was there. And I remember the first time hearing the song, Kissing. Who remember that song there? Anybody? The Palms, yes, RoSolo. That was the first time hearing the song. Yeah. And the other one, you know which other one too? I can't say it here. Tech, girl, you think you're easy? Lord help me. Look at my mind, God. We're here back in the day. But anyway, yes, Mr. Palmer did teach some people to spell, Kissing under the tree. Mm-hmm. Good job. I sincerely hope that all the funds will be exhausted solely on the needs of the children. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. I don't know why RoSolo laughing at me. It's time for Last Noticia, stories out of our Latin American segment. Hey, very interesting, I must say, what happened this weekend between Colombia and US. On one hand, the president of Colombia, no, 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 you're not going to send my people back to me chained up like animals. I need them back with some dignity. As a matter of fact, no worry about it. Me come for them because we will never deny our people. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but I found it rather amusing to say the least. I'm trying to find the video with the gentleman breaking it down with what the president of what you call it, the president. Oh, hold on a second. Colombia, yeah. Guess what? Me get distracted a while ago. Mr. President, guess what? Have y'all heard what's his name? New song with Sexy Red, Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars done got locked out of heaven. That's all I can say. He got locked out of heaven. I'm gonna go listen to Bruno Mars new song. Then I can't let me know. Adesoji, why are you not in your boudoir? Hold on. Why is Adesoji not in his boudoir? Adesoji, what happened? Bed bugs biting? You don't live in France. We're talking about Colombia and the US and the back and forth, and the Colombian president saying, "You're not going to send my people to me like animals. You're going to," I was, as a matter of fact, you know, me was send my plane, the presidential plane, to pick up my people. Them, you're not going to chain them up and put them on no army plane and drop them off to me. Leave us alone. But hold on, I thought that was just Mexico because Mexico was not accepting a plane either. Oh, Lord. Ooh. Wow. Wow. I don't know what's happening. I really don't know how our diplomatic relations is going. I don't know. Oh. Mhm, mhm. Ah. Yeah, interesting. Interesting indeed. Thank you, Adesoji. All right. Argentina slashes export taxes to rescue drought hit farmers. Thank you for this, Mr. President. I found the article on finance.yahoo.com. I was able to pull it up there. According to Bloomberg, Argentina slashed taxes on its major crops that provide billions of dollars in export revenue as it seeks to throw a lifeline to farmers wrestling a drought and low global prices. The government of President Javier Milei cut tariffs on exports of soy meal and oil to 24.5% from 31%. The levy on unprocessed beans was chopped to 26% from 33%. The tax on corn was lowered to 9.5% from 12%. There were reductions for other major crops, including wheat, barley, and sunflowers. Soy meal futures in Chicago fell as much as 3.3% in Friday trading. Okay. I'm a little confused here. Why would the government of Argentina oppose such a hefty tariff tax on their own goods being exported? Soy 31%, well, it has now been lowered to 24.5. Unprocessed beans was chopped from 33% to 26%. Corn from 12% to 9.5%. Is that a way to prevent their farmers from exporting and seeing to it that the local need is satisfied first? Is that the reason? All right, explain this to me a little more, because I didn't do economics one on one, so forgive me. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. Me not even know I know. Bauxite. We produce a lot of bauxite. Let's say bauxite. Yeah. We extract it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I got you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the breakdown. By the way, our main exports include bauxite, alumina, sugar, rum, coffee, and other agricultural products. All right. So, oh, hold on. You know, sir, I never plug in someone. Hold on 1 second. Lord have mercy. All right. So, hopefully, my things won't go dead on me. All right. Yeah. I'm totally forgot to plug something back in. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Adesoji. Thank you, Mr. President. And it seems I just got kicked out of it seems I just got kicked out of fan base here. Let me get back in. We were doing so good. I got kicked out. We were doing so good. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you, Mr. President. I came back in on and interrupted. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Moving right along. Next up in our stories out of Latin America, Mexican workers set up tent city to house deportees from US. This article courtesy of BBC. In the shadow of a vast crucifix, laborers and construction workers in the Mexican border city of Ciudad Juarez are building a small city of their own, a tent city. On the old fairgrounds beneath an altar constructed for a mass by Pope Francis in 2016, the Mexican government is preparing for thousands of deportees they expect to arrive from the United States in the coming weeks. Juarez is one of 8 border locations along the 1,900-mile border where Mexico is getting ready for the anticipated influx. Men in boots and baseball caps climb on top of a vast metal structure to drape over thick white tarpaulin, erecting a rudimentary shelter to temporarily house men and women exactly like themselves. Casual laborers, domestic workers, kitchen staff, and farm hands are all likely to be among those who are sent south soon. Once what President Trump calls the largest deportation in American history, once that gets underway. As well as protection from the elements, the deportees will receive food, medical care, and assistance in obtaining Mexican identity documents under a deportee support program, which President Claudia Sheinbaum's administration calls Mexico Embraces You. Mexico will do everything necessary to care for its compatriots and will allocate whatever is necessary to receive those who are repatriated. That is according to the Mexican Interior Minister. For her part, President Sheinbaum has stressed her government will first attend to the humanitarian needs of those returning, saying they will qualify for her government's social programs and pensions and will immediately be eligible to work. She urged Mexicans to remain calm and keep a cool head about relations with President Trump and his administration more broadly, from deportations to the threat of tariffs. With Mexico, I think we're going very well, said President Trump in a video address to the World Economic Forum this week. The two neighbors may yet find a workable solution on immigration, which is acceptable to both. President Sheinbaum has said the key is dialogue and keeping the channels of communication open. And undoubtedly, though, she recognizes the potential stress President Trump's declaration of an emergency at the U.S. border could place on Mexico. Well, I applaud her for doing this. I applaud her for that. We're going to treat you with some dignity. We're welcoming you back. This is your home, and we're going to do our best to help you to repatriate or help you with the repatriation process. Go right ahead, Mr. President. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 And I think that's what's going to happen. Right. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. That is exactly what I foresee happening. Hmm. Sometimes we, what we say, we cut off with nose to spite with face. Sometimes we think we're doing something to hurt somebody, and in essence, we may be helping them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, time for stories out of North America. Oh no, I'm sorry. On the international scene, before we get to North America, calm down. Why the haste? No haste here. Energene seals $2 billion natural gas sale deal to supply Israel's Dahlia power plants. Thank you, Mr. President, for this one. This one can be found on timesofisrael.com. British Greek oil and gas company Energean said Thursday it inked an agreement to supply natural gas to Israeli private energy producer Dahlia Power Energies in a deal worth $2 billion, as it expects higher production in 2025, bolstered by increased electricity demand in the country. Now, after I read this, there's an article on CNN that I want to us to turn our attention to. Hold on, let me just bring it up in. I just had the thing up. Okay, and it's regarding okay. Let's soon find it back. No worries, let's soon find it back. But anyway, let me keep reading. As part of the deal, Energean will supply natural gas of up to 12 billion cubic meters for a period of 18 years from the Karish natural gas field located off Israel's Mediterranean coast to Dahlia and Eshkol power plants. Dahlia Power Energies supplies about 16% of Israel's electricity produced from natural gas, according to its website. Over the past year, we have agreed more than $4 billion in new long-term gas sales agreements in Israel, including the new $2 billion binding terms with Dahlia Energy, bringing the total contract value close to $20 billion. Let me head over to, I know where I saw the article. And this I find very interesting. And it's I saw the article pinned, and I think it was on Joy Reid's page. And it's a clipping from AP, the Associated Press. Yeah. So Joanne Reid's page. Let me okay, here it is. So according to the Associated Press, Trump wants Jordan and Egypt to accept more Palestinian refugees and floats plan to clean out Gaza. So, according to AP News, President Donald Trump said he would like to see Jordan, Egypt, and other Arab nations increase the number of Palestinian refugees they are accepting from the Gaza Strip, potentially moving out enough of the population to, and I quote, just clean out the war torn area to create a virtual clean slate. During a 20-minute question and answer session on Saturday with reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump also said he has ended his predecessor's hold on sending 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. That lifts a pressure point meant to reduce civilian casualties. And what this is talking about is President Biden had signed an order to stop the sending of the 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. But here it is, lifted. That lifts a pressure point meant to reduce civilian casualties during Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza, which is now halted by a tenuous ceasefire. We released them today. Trump set off the bombs. They've been waiting for them for a long time. Asked why he lifted the ban on those bombs, Trump responded, because they bought them. Trump has built his political career around being unapologetically pro-Israel. On his larger vision of Gaza, Trump said he had a call earlier in the day with King Abdullah II of Jordan and would speak with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Egypt. I'd like Egypt to take people. And I'd like Jordan to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people. We just clean out that whole thing. Trump said he complimented Jordan for having successfully attempted to accept or having successfully accepted Palestinian refugees, and that he told the king, I'd love for you to take more because I'm looking at the whole Gaza Strip right now and it's a mess. It's a real mess. Such a drastic displacement of people would openly contradict Palestinian identity and deep connection to Gaza. Still, Trump said that part of the world that encompasses Gaza has had many, many conflicts over centuries. He said resettling could be temporary or long time. What I'm not hearing, and I'm not sure if he mentioned it, and I don't want to say he didn't, I'm hoping he did. I am hoping that this resettling is temporary while we rebuild Palestine so that the Palestinians can return home. Is there a slight possibility that? Okay. All right. Okay. I fell asleep. Yeah. Yeah. I would love clarity on we just clean out that whole thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ah, Adesoji. All right. I made the connection because I just found it rather interesting with the British Greek oil gas company, right? And um, I'm, you know what? I should have pulled up a map to see exactly where this is. Go ahead, Adesoji. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Ah, another stories. Thank, thank you, Adesoji. Yeah, we just watch what happens, how the world moves forward. Interesting times. Italy resumes migrant transfers to processing centers in Albania. Oh, courtesy of Mr. President. Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, for making us aware. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this article. Oh boy. According to the Associated Press, Italy said on Sunday it was transferring 49 migrants picked up in the Mediterranean to new processing centers in Albania in the third such attempt, facing hurdles by courts. The Navy vessel with the migrants on board was expected to reach the Albanian port on Tuesday morning. The Interior Ministry said on Sunday that 53 other migrants spontaneously presented their passports after they were told it would avoid their transfer to Albania. Where the nationality is confirmed, processing generally takes less time as people who are determined by Italy to be ineligible to apply for asylum in the European Union are repatriated via a fast track procedure. Italian judges refused to validate the detention of the first two small groups in the Albanian centers, built under a contentious agreement between Rome and Tirana. Their cases have been referred to the European Court of Justice, which had earlier established that asylum applicants could not undergo a fast track procedure that could lead to repatriation if their country of provenance was not deemed completely safe. The European Court hearing on the case is scheduled for February 25th. What can I say? What can I say? Adesoji, we can't say anything. We just wait and watch. I mean, mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. Adesoji, do you remember, was it last week? I asked the question, who drafts the executive orders? Okay, all right. So I have a question, and then we're going to move on. The Italian premier is saying that they're vowing to reactivate two centers that they have in Albania. Why does Italy have centers in Albania? Anyway, let's move forward. Italy has earmarked 650 million euros, the equivalent of 675 million US dollars, to run the centers for over 5 years. They opened in October, ready to accept up to 3,000 male migrants a month picked up by the Italian Coast Guard in international waters. So what are they going to do with the women? It's just men. 3,000 male a month. Mm. That's a good question. Mm-hmm. 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 Interesting, huh? Interesting. Yeah. Next, Turkey and Syria agree on a roadmap to revive trade. This article can be found on middleeasti.net. The Turkish Trade Ministry has announced a roadmap to resolve disputes between Turkey and Syria following the fall of Bashar al-Assad's government last month, which brought bilateral trade to a halt due to a sudden increase in customs duties. Earlier this month, the new Syrian government raised customs duties on Turkish imports by up to 300%, aiming to unify rates across its borders. This move sparked anger among Turkish exporters and some Syrian business people. Turkey's annual exports to Syria amount to $2 billion. Turkey has long been a key player in Syria, supporting the Syrian opposition for the past 13 years. However, this stance has been controversial domestically as Ankara faces pressure due to the presence of 3 million Syrian refugees. On Friday, the Trade Ministry announced that a delegation led by Deputy Minister Mustafa Tusku traveled to Damascus this week, holding talks with his Syrian counterpart, Mahir Khalil al-Hassan, and the Deputy Foreign Minister, Ahmed Juhan. The ministry said that as part of the roadmap, both sides agreed to reassess the custom duties applied to Turkish products in an effort to streamline disrupted trade in the coming weeks. What can I say? What can we say? You know, the Syrian government raised custom duties on Turkish imports by up to 300%, aiming to unify rates across its borders. Yeah. Listen, when I read these stories, all I can remember is a very simple saying: life is simple. We are the ones who complicate it. Yeah, we complicate things unnecessarily. All this back and forth. Anyway, I'm gonna drink water, man, my business. Wealthy cities are generating and exporting mountains of textile waste. When I read this one, Mr. President, it grieved me. And I remember the conversation we had last week when we spoke about consumerism. And it's like we are, I don't know, we're going crazy. We just are buy. All when we don't need it, we are buy. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into this article courtesy of Forbes.com. Urbanites are buying and disposing of more clothing than ever. Somewhere between 80 and 150 billion items of clothing are produced each year. That's 10 to 19 items for every person on Earth. UNEP says that the average person is buying 60% more clothing than 15 years ago, while each item is kept for only half as long. But those figures are from 2016. In a world filled with fast and ultra-fast fashion, it seems likely that things have deteriorated further since. The environmental impact of all this clothing is staggering. Producing textiles requires vast quantities of water. A simple cotton shirt consumes as much water as a person would need to live for 2.5 years, 713 gallons. In fact, the fashion industry as a whole consumes more water than almost any other industry. Only agriculture beats it. Global fiber production, which includes all fibers used for apparel, home textiles, footwear, or any other application, that reached a record high in 2023. While wool and cotton are still popular, synthetic fibers now dominate the landscape. Polyester, which is a type of plastic made from petroleum, takes the top spot, with around 70 million metric tons of it made that year, 57% of total fiber production. These statistics are reflected in the consumer textile market. For example, polyester represents more than 75% of ultra-fast fashion Shein. Yep, Shein's their fiber portfolio. And even more worryingly, the overwhelming majority, 87.5% of polyester produced in 2023 was virgin or non-recycled. What does that mean? It means that new fossil fuels were used to make it. For nylon, the second most used synthetic fiber, just 2% came from recycled sources. As a result, the emissions footprint of the fashion industry continues to rise. In 2018, it was estimated to be responsible for up to 10% of global carbon emissions. I want to pump the brakes right there. Women, this is our call to action. Yes, we are guilty of being the consumers of fashion. And especially with these manufacturers being able to produce them quickly, cheaply, we're hurting ourselves and we're hurting our environment. We have spoken about the possibility of cancer being a result of these cheap clothes that we're wearing. If I remember well, I think California, they put a tag on the clothing that it may cause cancer. We're wearing plastic. Do we really need all that it is that we're purchasing? Do we really need it? Yes, and I'm talking to women. How are we going to fix this? Are we ready to have an honest conversation with ourselves? Do we really need to be ordering, having packages showing up at our houses daily, weekly? Can we curb this? Because if we don't curb this, we're not even going to live long enough to see grandchildren. Our children, our daughters, who we're teaching them our habits. By the time them reach 20, them have all kind of cancer. I'm sorry. It's the reality of the situation. And it's not even recycled. The amount that's recycled is very minuscule, 2%. (87.5% of polyester produced in 2023 was virgin or non-recycled, meaning that new fossil fuels were being used to make it. We have to pump the brakes. This idea that we can't wear something more than one time, shelf that idea. What's the point of looking cute only to suffer in the long run, if not you personally, someone that you know? The environment is going to suffer. The earth is crying out. Shein nearly doubled its emissions in a single year, going from 9.17 million metric tons in 2022 to 16.68 million metric tons. And I know some of you are going to say, well, it's not bothering me. It is affecting you. You see, climate change, it's real. I know some of you are saying this don't affect me. I'm not stop shop. I'm going to shop till me drop, and shopping is my therapy. Come find something else, folks. The clothing is ending up in urban landfills and dumps. I don't know. Yes, ladies, I know we all want to look fashionable. I know. And especially if you're out and about all the time, learn to mix and match. Some of us, our closets are bursting at the seams. Closet from top to bottom. And yes, I'm calling out the woman. Why? Because check most couples, whether they're married or not, just living together, man and a woman living together. The woman's closet is always bigger than the man's closet. Tell me, say a lie, me I tell. If they share the same closet, her clothes take up 3/4 of the closet and his just pushed to one little side. Tell me, say a lie, me I tell. We have to do better, ladies. We have to. These numbers are startling, shocking to say the least. The shop till you drop. Do we it is putting a lot of us in debt too. Make we talk about that. Some of us are in debt because we don't know how to curb our shopping habits. We don't know how to turn a blind eye. And not everything come out we have to have. Let something slide us by. And not every style out there fit we either. Some of we don't need to put on somebody something them. I'm calling us out, ladies. And I'm putting myself in the bracket. We need to check ourselves and the impact that we're having on Mother Earth. We should have a better understanding as the givers of life, those who bring forth life. Come on, we have to do better. This was a shocker. I'm not going to lie, Mr. President. It was a shocker. Seeing the numbers, a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. 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 And sometimes them don't even want to give it away. Sometimes them don't even want part with it. Them have it. Get rid of it. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And another thing too, Mr. President, me will say this. Can me know me guilty of this? That's what I mean can say. We have to know how to part ways with things that can no longer fit us. Right? Yeah. Me know. Me can't talk. We know full well so we naga gym. We know full well so we not change we eating habit. We know full well say what could fit us 22 years ago when the man when you meet the man 22 years later it can't fit you. And no matter how you try, you still can't fit tonight. Get up. Me guilty. Me have a couple pieces that I need to let go of. And I use psychology and say, me a hold on upon them. To remind the man say when he did meet me, I saw me did little bit. Yeah, me tell him all the time. Because I also have a dress form, a little mannequin that may have this skirt. The skirt can fit me one skirt and one dress, and then fit the mannequin good. And every now and again, me look on the mannequin and I said, damn, I was that small. Look how the man mashed me up. Ladies, part ways with the dresses. Part ways with the clothes. And don't go out there and buy things that are a small when you're a large. And in the back of your mind, you feel say you're going to lose weight and fit in the frock or the pants. You're not going to fit in that. Me I tell you, friend, no, don't buy it. Let go of the past and move forward. Never gonna do. Don't. I'm talking from my own experience. I'm talking from my own experience. I mean, just me. I mean, I'm on a bulletproof vest. We have to let it go. We go to the mall and we pick up one medium size and we say, yeah, man, this look like it with me. And you know, well, say enough with you. You know, so the boobs get 2 sizes bigger. You know, so the back get like a broader. The hips a little wider. We have to have honest conversations with ourselves, ladies. We have to. We really have to. Yes, Tasha, the man come for me right off. um, I want the man know say it is there fish remind him how when he get me the tan good and he mash me up. Yeah, right. That's so. But no, but I'm making light of a serious situation. We have a global problem, folks. We have to cut down on our consumption. Some of us need to empty our Amazon cart, empty the Temu cart, empty the Shein cart, empty the Walmart, Target, whatever cart, empty the cart. We no need it. Let it go. Let it go, folks. Yeah, we have to have this conversation, ladies. No, the mirror lie, the mirror tell lie, the mirror tell. I know my mirror has lied to make a what me say, or what me know. You know, whatever. Let's move it right along. Time for stories out of North America. Well, Trump was issue. Well, I don't know if it's not issue, but anyway, this article Trump issuing emergency 25% tariffs against Colombia after the country had turned back the deportation flights. But they ironed out their differences and they came to an agreement, if I'm not mistaken. They did come to an agreement and we have the updated thing. I know I saw something about Mm-hmm. Right. Mm. All right, so I found an audio clip here. Let's listen to this one, Mr. President. Let's listen to this. All right, so that was from PBS News, their TikTok page. That was one of their reporters. Huh. Go ahead, Adesoji. Go right ahead. Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. Hold on, stick up in. Which one you say you want again? Which story? Italian. Oh, no, no. Oh, that one. Okay, the passage. Okay, go right ahead. Go ahead. Mhm. 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 Hmm. Interesting. Hold on a second. Let me get. I'm capturing the link for you. Um, interesting. Listen, Adesoji, so much has transpired since November. So much more has transpired since January. The when was 19th or so? 20th. Sorry. I have lost track of all the things that have happened. I am the what you call it, the life boy, the floaty is deflating under me because it can't keep up. It's a lot of weight we're carrying right now. Let me put it that way. We're carrying a lot of weight. Let me ask a question. Put a wrench in this. Throw a monkey's wrench into this. Let me ask this. Could it be that President Trump is fully aware that globally the respect that other leaders, other countries used to have for the US is no longer there. They have lost the respect for the US. Let's be fair. Could it be that he's aware of this and he wants America to be respected? And because of this deep desire to have it as a global leader and to be well respected by everybody around the world again, unfortunately, there are decisions being made that are not shifting. In other words, we're not getting it done diplomatically, but we're doing it by force and with rage. Could it be that the desire to take back that position is so much and wanting to have it done quickly that it is clouding our judgment and how we proceed? Mm-hmm. Yes, you can. Hmm. Right, right. Hmm. I want to be optimistic. All right. Next. Next up. Okay. I'm not supposed to be laughing. We have a serious matter on our hands, right? Let's see how things unfold. I want to say it is hit the floor running. You want to make an impression. You want to show the world that you're serious. You want to show your voters that you're serious, that you can turn America around, set us back on the right track. Yeah. So, this will soon wane. This will soon wane. Yes, Mr. President. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We don't remember. Go ahead, Mr. President. Yes. Mm-hmm. No, 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 I get it. I get it. We just want our listeners to think, right? No, 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 no. Behave yourself. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, gentlemen. In our next story, State Department freezes new funding for nearly all U.S. aid programs worldwide. This article can be found on apnews.com. The State Department ordered a sweeping freeze Friday on new funding for almost all U.S. foreign assistance, making exceptions for emergency food programs and military aid to Israel and Egypt. Hmm. Okay. The order threatened a quick halt to many of the billions of dollars in US. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I got to go back to that first paragraph. Making exceptions for emergency food programs and military aid to Israel and Egypt. Israel needs emergency food. I don't know. I really don't know. You know. But anyway, the order threatened a quick halt to many of the billions of dollars in US funded projects globally to support health, education, development, job training, anti corruption, security assistance, and other efforts. The US provides more foreign aid globally than any other country, budgeting about $60 billion dollars in 2023, or about 1% of the US budget. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's order, delivered in a cable sent to U.S. embassies worldwide, specifically exempted emergency food programs, such as those helping to feed millions in a widening famine in warring Sudan. The cable spells out the execution of the aid freezing executive order President Donald Trump signed on Monday. But Friday's order especially disappointed humanitarian officials by not including specific exemptions for life saving health programs, such as clinics and immunization programs. A globally acclaimed anti HIV program, the president's emergency relief plan for AIDS relief, was among those included in the spending freeze, slated to last at least 3 months. Known as PEPFAR, the program is credited with saving 25 million lives, including those of 5.5 million children, since it was started by Republican President George W. Bush. Some aid projects began receiving their first stop work orders under the freeze on Friday afternoon. Ah, um, how is this going to pan out now? Go ahead, Mr. President. This is, uh, oh, wow. Mhm. 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 Too late. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Go ahead. No, no. Yeah. So there's a fragment that says here by suspending foreign by suspending I sent you the AP, the first one, so I'll send you this one. But by suspending foreign development assistance, the Trump administration is threatening the lives and futures of communities in crisis and abandoning the United States' long held bipartisan approach to foreign assistance, which supports people based on need, regardless of politics. And this is according to Maximo in a statement. But what I want us to remember is we have highlighted several articles here on Caffeine Too with relation to countries, communities, villages, people that are impacted by Western companies, right? Let's talk about cell phones, right? The triple T we spoke about the other day, tungsten, what was it? Titanium and tin, right? A lot of the minerals and the metals and a lot of the ingredients, the components that we need to make things that we take for granted here in the West, things that we don't even hold in high regard. Really, let's be honest. We have no care about how we arrive at it. We just know we want it, right, and we have it. We have this insatiable appetite for more and more and more, and the newest and the latest gadgets. A lot of these gadgets that we have, these comforts that we have, are the result of somebody else being uncomfortable, somebody else being put in a compromising position. A lot of the frills that we enjoy in life are at the expense of someone else's life. Usually the poor, the underprivileged, the vulnerable, usually. A lot of mines are across Africa. And if you go into, we've seen the images, you go to these mines, there are people there who should be in school, not in the mines, children. So to feed our insatiable appetites here, we wreak havoc. And we have to hold ourselves accountable individually too, because of our consumer mentality, right? We create beasts somewhat. Yeah, we do. We have a hand in it. We can't remove ourselves from it. We have a hand in it. We have created beasts who want more and more and more. Right? And what do? They get the more by, and they get the materials by any means necessary. And a lot of times creating conflict and hostile situations within the countries from which we need to get these said materials so that we can have the end product. So when you take away the assistance, that's the least we can do, assist them, right? When we take that away, should the leaders of these countries say, okay, you know what, fine, take away your aid, probably, it's probably for the best, but take your aid away, we're going to start keeping our resources. And now you're going to have to pay fair market value or above market value. You see, in life, there's a thing, scratch my back, I scratch yours. One hand can't clap. But then again, it's probably not a bad idea. It will now force countries that have been exploited for so long to have honest conversations with themselves. Where did they drop the ball as it relates to their people? How have they subjected their people to some of the crises that they experience day in, day out? Now it should... Go ahead, Mr. President, go ahead. Yeah. So sometimes we look at things and we become upset and we're angry and annoyed, but sometimes it could be working for the best. You never know. Especially conversations we've had recently as it relates to countries in the central part of Africa, from going from east to west, and they're taking back their resources, countries kicking out the French, right? Saying, okay, you got to play by our rules now. So it's probably, this probably needed to happen. I don't know. Everything that happens, there has to be some reason for it happening. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you know what? Some good may come out of this. Charity porn. Charity porn. Yeah. So as I said, something good may come out of this. Wake up, leaders of nations that are consistently receiving aid. You're gonna have to pivot. And guess what? You might be surprised what you find when you pivot. Yeah, self-sufficiency, right? All right, more DEI fallout. Air Force scraps course that used videos of Tuskegee airmen and female World War II pilots. But I saw an update to this, I believe, where I see they're pushing back, and they have reintroduced the coursework. Listen, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this article, courtesy of WSVN and the Associated Press. The Air Force has removed training courses with videos of its storied Tuskegee Airmen and the Women Air Force Service Pilots, or WASPs, the female World War II pilots who were vital in ferrying war planes for the military to comply with the Trump administration's crackdown on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The videos were shown rather to Air Force troops as part of DEI courses they took during basic military training. In a statement, the Air Force confirmed the courses with those videos had been removed and said it will fully execute and implement all directives outlined in the executive orders issued by the president, ensuring that they are carried out with utmost professionalism, efficiency, and in alignment with national security objectives. The problem may not be with the historical videos themselves, but that they were used in Air Force basic military training DEI coursework. However, the lack of clearer guidance has sent the Air Force and other agencies scrambling to take the broadest approach to what content is removed to make sure they are in compliance. The Tuskegee Airmen, known as the Red Tails, were the nation's first Black military pilots who served in a segregated World War II unit, and their all-Black 332nd Fighter Group had one of the lowest loss records of all the bomber escorts in the war. Um, Go ahead. Mhm, mhm. Yes, yes. Followed by. And who follows them, Mr. President? Do you know who follows them? At the bottom. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But we do have an update regarding this story. All right. So, yeah, there's an update. Mhm. Oh, she went private. She went private. Mhm. Dr. Bartlow, yeah. on, on TikTok, yeah. Her students. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Hmm. Mhm. TikTok. Mhm. Check it out. You can. You can. You can. Yeah, you can. And it was funny because when I saw the video about her, someone was commenting, and I saw the video about her, Mr. President, before you even sent it over to me. And I dropped a comment. I said, we have world studies week 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. What else? Or what should we call the class? What do we call this? 4 hours of what? It is world studies. Yeah, I dropped a comment. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. When I say when they give you lemons, you make lemonade. Mm-hmm. That is it. You start where you are with what you have. A little can go a long way. Yep. What was meant for bad turned out for good. That's how it goes sometimes. So good news, knowing that it has been reinstated. Navajo Nation, yes, their leaders raise alarm over reports of indigenous people being questioned and detained during immigration sweeps. Article courtesy of CNN.com. At least 15 indigenous people in Arizona and New Mexico have reported being stopped at their homes and workplaces, questioned or detained by federal law enforcement, and asked to produce proof of citizenship during immigration raids since Wednesday, according to Navajo Nation officials. The reports, which have caused panic amongst tribal communities in both states, come amid the Trump administration's attempt to ramp up undocumented immigrant arrests nationwide and amass a larger force to carry out the president's deportation pledge. CNN has reached out to the White House for comment. The reported raids and the exact number of Diné Navajo and other indigenous tribal citizens who were apprehended are still under investigation. Navajo Nation Council Speaker Crystalline Curley told CNN it is unclear if immigration and customs enforcement or other law enforcement entities were conducting the apprehensions. ICE has not responded to CNN's request for comment. Navajo Nation officials have contacted the Department of Homeland Security. The governors of Arizona and New Mexico and ICE are to address the reports. That's according to office of the president of the office of the Navajo. This is not good. Lord, this is gonna say that they run a show because all of the article they need to come to you. No, this is very concerning, and this is why here why it's concerning, and this is why history is important. Arizona was once a part of. New Mexico was once a part of. Gracias, es correcto. So, so what you will find is that a lot of Mexicans and indigenous Americans look alike. It's just the border that has separated them. Yeah. We Would you? So, do you remember the story that we highlighted the other day with the woman who called um, Department of Homeland Security on a group of indigenous Americans who, yes, she thought they were illegal immigrants. We, yes, she did. She did. Yes, I'm going to send it to you. Let's all send it to you. I have to forward it to myself and then I send it to you. Yeah, it is. It's disturbing to say the least. So I will. So I'll ask the question: what does an American, a Native American, look like? Ah, yeah. Do me a favor, Adesoji, just send me a text because I'm gonna have to put them together and send them to you after I get off. So just send me a text with the stories that you want me to send you the links for, and I'll happily send. Yeah. Yes, please go on your bed. Galango sleep. I don't know what you do, yeah. But I appreciate your being here. Rest well, rest well, and don't let the bed bugs bite. I mean, the wind might blow them over. Just be careful. All right. Have a good night, Adesoji. Thank you so much, as always, for your support and your contribution. All right. Ta-ta. So, all right. So we have business and tech news. China tariff could increase prices on consumer electronics and toys. All right. That is, excuse me, that is coming up. Excuse me. Pardon me. That is coming up. The world's best coffee from our farms to your cup. It's Grand Coffee House. I think that's how the Wi-Fi extender is working. I'm back with you, YouTube live. We haven't had any hitches online, so that's a good thing. Let me give the extender a round of applause. It has worked so far. I hope it will work tomorrow morning because I think morning time is when servers are usually overwhelmed as a lot of people move about their day. All right, business and tech news. China tariffs could increase prices on consumer electronics. I think that's a no-brainer. According to NBC News, mynews4.com out of Washington, if President Trump places a 10% tariff on all Chinese goods, certain consumer products could see a price hike. Consumer electronics like cell phones, Televisions and computers are among the top goods in the US that are imported or were imported from China last year, according to federal trade data. Communications equipment like cell phones accounted for the most, followed by computers and then toys. But Jason Miller, a supply chain expert at Michigan State University, tells us if the tariff does go into effect, don't expect the entire 10% to get passed down to the consumer. Miller also says do not be surprised if prices go up fairly quickly, since retailers try to move these goods at a fast pace. Not including December, the US imported $401 billion worth of goods from China last year. So we're going to have to tell our children, get outside, start learning how to play jacks and marbles. And oh, those things may come from China too. I don't know. Do we make them? What do we make here? Yeah, toys. So yeah, cell phones. Learn to make your cell phones last you a couple years more, not change them out every year or every 2 years. You may want to try to let them last you 5-6 years, because affordability is going to be an issue. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right. Also in business and tech news, why elite MBA graduates are struggling to find jobs. And you had sent this one over to me. I think I've been carrying it for a little bit. But according to the economist.com, thank you, Mr. President, in business, there is no surer sign of distress than when a firm delays its financial results. That also appears to be true of business schools. Around Christmas, and in many cases behind their usual schedules, America's leading business schools published their equivalent of annual reports, which include data on the new jobs of graduates from their Master of Business Administration MBA programs, typically 2-year courses for students with professional experience. We have crunched the numbers. At the top 15 business schools, the share of students in 2024 who sought and accepted a job offer within 3 months of graduating, a standard measure of career outcomes, fell by 6 percentage points to 84%. And that is compared with the average over the past 5 years. That share declined by 8 points. Why are we having a decline though? What could be? Is it that now we can't afford to pay you? You are now overqualified? And I have heard that before, where you're told you're overqualified. And when you're doing your resume, you need to exclude certain things because I think I want to sum it up to you're now a threat. That's how I look at it. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. And I'm grateful for this next article. Mr. President, 3 remote jobs you can start in 2025 with no experience, right? And I don't think when you talk about no experience, I think we're talking about no experience or not having experience in said field. So let's go ahead and get into this one. I haven't read it yet, so we're going to be reading this one together. According to Forbes.com, think you need years of experience to secure a well-paid remote job? Well, think again. Although associated with seasoned tech experts and experienced white collar professionals, Remote jobs are not only the ideal working model for younger and less experienced workers, but there are several options you have to start working remotely if you're getting started in your career. Approximately 80% of Gen Z and 76% of millennials say they are more productive working from home than in the office. That's according to a recent Flex Jobs survey. The survey also discovered that while Gen Z usually favors hybrid remote work, two-thirds of millennials prefer the fully remote work arrangement. And why? They cite work life balance and maximum flexibility as top reasons. So, how to get a remote job with no experience. But when you're just launching your career or are pivoting to a new career altogether in an effort to realign with your goals, finding an entry level remote job can be a challenge. These jobs usually require you to be in the office for training, and looking for a completely remote role or a hybrid role that allows you to spend more days at home than in the office, well, that can be a challenge. Thankfully, one way to circumvent this challenge is to try freelancing. When you're freelancing, you have the freedom to work remotely and on your own terms. And you can meet and collaborate with local clients in person if you wish, while picking up invaluable skills as you learn on the job. Each client will present a new set of challenges that you'll need to work with, and you're forced to think critically, leverage your creativity, and constantly refresh and update your knowledge and skills to be relevant. You actually learn quite a bit simultaneously. For instance, you build skills necessary for the delivery of your freelance service while also learning business and leadership skills, as well as interpersonal skills such as communication skills, emotional intelligence, analytical thinking, customer centric mindset, organization, and time management skills. Additionally, freelancing as a way of pivoting or launching into a new career is immensely helpful. Why? Because it allows you to build a portfolio which you can include as work experience in your resume, as well as highlighting the link to your portfolio, including samples of your work. Do that in your resume and LinkedIn profile. This is a great way to work around the problem of applying for entry level jobs that require 2 or 3 years of experience when you don't have any to begin with. But you might be wondering, how do I convince clients to pay for my services if I have no experience? It's really simple. All you need to do is begin by offering your service pro bono or for a greatly reduced rate. This enables you to gather feedback and make improvements. While using these projects to analyze your weaknesses, you can create a targeted learning plan for your professional upskilling. Start with small projects so you do not overwhelm yourself, and encourage your clients to share reviews and testimonials. This will not only help you build confidence in your capabilities, but will boost trust and confidence in you from potential clients. So, here are 3 remote jobs you can start as a freelancer without any experience in 2025. Remote virtual assistant. Virtual assistants are the multitaskers of the business world. They provide support for small businesses, ranging from booking calls with clients to planning itineraries to responding to clients on another entity's behalf, to taking ownership of other admin related work and ad hoc tasks. This requires you to be multifaceted and to develop essential skills like attention to detail, self motivation, and even project management skills. Remote copywriter is number 2. Copywriting is one of the easiest remote jobs to start without any experience because all you need is excellent writing skills. You can perfect these over time. It's best to start in a niche you're familiar with or already taken interest or are knowledgeable in, as this makes it easier to start landing copywriting gigs and the writing will flow more naturally. There are loads of writing niches and specializations when it comes to copywriting that there would be too many to list here. However, a few include blog writing for your own blog or guest blogging, editing and proofreading, writing about health and beauty for magazines, writing for fashion outlets, copy for websites and email marketing campaigns, and even product copy. You can write for virtually any in demand topic that people are engrossed in learning about, even your hobbies. And here's number three, remote SEO optimization specialist. So, another fantastic entry level remote job you can start is becoming a freelance SEO specialist. You can teach yourself SEO, search engine optimization skills online. Yes, YouTube University for free or next to free using resources such as HubSpot Academy, a ref's SEO course for beginners, and Coursera. Next, practice on your friends, relatives, or anyone you know in need of getting their business on the front page of Google. Take what you learn and keep track of your results. Even screenshot them. This is a great way to prove that you just don't know SEO in theory, but you actually deliver results in record time, which speaks loudly to potential clients. If you ever felt prior to hearing this article that remote work wasn't within your reach, hopefully by now you're more aware of your options and you can feel empowered to start aligning yourself for one of these remote jobs, even if you have little to no experience. Thank you again. And Mr. President, for this one, I think this should speak to someone who listens to this. Yeah, a lot of times we sit down and we want to do the run of the mill jobs, right? Follow tradition, so to speak. We can break the mold, right? And look at it this way. I know nobody wants to work for free, but think of it as doing an internship. Think of it as doing an internship. You're working for free for the most part anyway, right? And in that time, what are you doing? You're garnering experience, you're honing your skills, you're learning tricks and tips, you're being exposed to alternative ways of thinking and doing things, and you can achieve your goals, right? So once you feel you have mastered an area, guess what you can do? Now you can start asking for what you believe you're truly worth, right? Thank you, Mr. President. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I agree. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. That is so true. That is so true. So we have to learn the art of pivoting. We have to know how to be open to new ideas. And folks, YouTube University, make it your best friend. Anything you want to learn, anything you want to know, you can jump on the internet. The information is there. And, find people. find people to network with within a particular industry that you may have an interest in, right? Go ahead, Mr. President. I know you opened your mic again. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. And that brings us to the end of our YouTube Live. We are going to be back tomorrow morning at our regularly scheduled time, which is at 9:35. We'll be going live on YouTube. So we invite you to join us tomorrow morning. This episode is going to be uploaded onto of course, our YouTube channel, as well as the YouTube podcast. So I want to say thank you to everyone who came through and supported YouTube Live. And of course, a big thank you to everyone with me on Fanbase. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube live stream. Thank you so much once again. Have yourselves a wonderful Coffee in Tow is an interactive world news podcast, a dynamic and engaging live show that streams across multiple internet radio stations worldwide. This podcast brings you real-time news updates, in-depth analysis, and interactive discussions on global events, making you a part of the conversation no matter where you are. With a diverse range of expert guests and listener participation, it's your go-to source for staying informed and connected to the world. Coffee in Tow is brought to you in part by Lormel Skin Food. Log on to lormelskinfood.com. Discover the range of natural skincare solutions. Indulge in the radiance of natural and organic beauty with the best natural and organic soap bars, whipped soaps, body butters, and oils. All 100% natural products. Lormel Skin Food for a natural, beautiful you. The world's best coffee from our farms to your cup. It's Grand Coffee House.